What's up, YouTube? Smoking Dank 5280 coming at you for Couch Jockey Gaming and Gamer to Gamer. And today we are taking a look at Ether 1, a new game available on the PlayStation 4 from White Paper Games, a small little independent gaming company. We're going to take a look at, is this game worth it? Is it worth the time it takes to download? Is it worth the hard drive space it takes up? Is it worth investing what little time most of us gamers have to try new stuff? Is it worth wasting that time? And to figure that out, like we always do on these Is It Worth It reviews, we're going to take a look at the look and feel, the story, the amount of content, and the replayability of this title. So, without a lot of bullshit, we're going to make this quick, sweet, and to the point, short, sweet, and to the point, look and feel. The game looks good. Is it going to win any awards for the best graphics of 2015? No. Does it look horrible? By no means at all. It looks good. It looks what you would expect. It looks better than what I would expect, honestly, from the small development team over at White Paper Games. Not that they're bad programmers or anything like that, but for the small amount of people they have on their team, the game looks good. I'll give them credit for that. Where I do have an issue is on how the game feels. And the reason I have an issue with that is because I'm one of those weird players that plays with an inverted y-axis. That means, if you don't know what that means, it means my thumbstick that controls how I look up and down, I play with that backwards, kind of like if a flight stick on a plane. When I go into new games, that's one of the first things I have to change so that the game feels more natural to me. And unfortunately, this game doesn't have that option, which is frustrating because I want to play this game. I want the controls to feel comfortable. And I don't think, honestly, that that's too much to ask out of a next-gen game. I did tweet to the company within the first 10 minutes of playing it. I'm like, hey, please tell me there's a way to change this. And I didn't expect anything back from them, but they got back to me within like 3 minutes and said that there would be a patch out within 24 hours, hopefully, for them to get that fixed. Luckily, they put hopefully in there because it's been about 36 and there's still no patch. Again, small team. I have no idea what it takes to program that option in, but the fact that they acknowledged me and they said they're working on it, cool. It does take away from the gameplay for me, but for most gamers who don't play with an inverted y-axis, the controls are going to feel fine for you. So overall look and feel on the controls is good. No complaints other than a personal complaint that I can't change just that one little option. So come on, guys, fix it. Moving on, though, we're going to move on to the story. And the story, the basics of the story is you are a restorer who works for this like mental health company is the best I can explain it at this point. And you're guided through by this kind of creepy doctor. Half the time she sounds real nice, half the time she's fucking psycho. And you're wandering around inside their patients, their clients' brain, trying to repair brain damage from dementia. And apparently, as the story progresses, you learn that this is the company's last chance. The board's there, everything's riding on you, and psycho doctor. But the story is good enough and interesting and creepy enough that it has me coming back for more, despite constant frustration with the controls, just because every time I want to look up, I look down. And every time I look down, I look up. But the story is great. Most games, if I was having this much issue with the controls because I couldn't change it, I would have deleted the game, I would have written it off and not even gone into it. This game keeps me coming back for story alone, and which moves us into the amount of content. As you move through the game, you pick up things, you pick up objects that you think might be useful, you notice codes, you notice combinations. There'll be a letter. Pick up every letter because you never know which letter is going to give you a combination to a safe somewhere or tell you where something's buried or something like that. You have to read everything. You have to examine everything. There's so much stuff to do that when I completed the first area and it zapped me to the next area, I'm left thinking, oh my God, I didn't finish 3 of those memories that were there. I need to get back. There's so much to do. And then I'm thinking, well, I searched that entire area and I couldn't find the things I needed. I bet you they're in these other areas. So for the amount of content, there's a ton of shit to do. There's a ton of shit to figure out. And from what I can tell, you can either just kind of breeze through it and go through the story, or you can really work on those tough puzzles. And there's a lot more shit underneath the that top layer of the basic story. So for amount of content, I'm not complaining. There's a ton to do. There's a ton to figure out. Just everything seems to tie back to everything. You pick up an object that you're like, wait a minute. I read a note earlier that this guy wanted this object back on his desk. I need to go take that there, and then that opens up something else. It's great how they do it. I'll give them good story, great on the amount of content, which brings us to our final point. What's the replayability? And if you couldn't figure it out from the amount of content, the replayability seems high on this game, only because there's so much to do, so much to complete, and if you're not doing every little thing, you're just leaving stuff on the table that you didn't do. So you're going to have to come back to get your trophies, figure out the different memories, figure out the deeper side of these puzzles. I'm guessing at least 2 playthroughs if you do it as well as you can without skipping and you do everything. 5 to 10 if you really like the story and just want to play the story through. But I can't complain because I'm already trying to figure out ways I can get further, go backwards in the game to recomplete something as I'm like, oh, I forgot to write that down, or oh, I should have figured that out. But that's going to do it for this review. So we can wrap this up. Look and feel, other than the controls for me, is good. The story's great. The amount of content is great. The replayability seems high. This is definitely a game, if you have a PlayStation 4 and you have a PS Plus subscription, there's no reason you shouldn't be downloading this and giving it a try. If you don't have a PlayStation Plus subscription, yeah, why not? Especially if you have a PS4. The amount of games that we've gotten this year, or between this year and last year, is nuts. But this is definitely one you need to be trying. Other than that, that's all I've got to say about this game. I got to go check and see if they patched it so I can get the controls right. But definitely worth the hard drive space it takes up, definitely worth downloading, definitely worth investing some time into. Again, this is Ether 1 from White Paper Games. I'm out of here. We're going to cut this. Don't forget, smoke weed, play games. Thanks for watching.